That song slaps.
It does. It does.
It truly does slap. I love that intro. It slaps. That's all I got. We need an actual intro song. Numero uno. We'll work on that. But big news in the NFL came yesterday. We're a day late. We like being a day late and a dollar short. It's what we do here at Game Changer Sports Network. But nonetheless, we are still here to talk about it with a dog in the background.
It gives us time to go ahead and really marinate in all the news and really take in what this means as a shakeup for the league.
It really just means we get to digest it. We get to thoroughly digest what happened.
Why are we using marinate and digest as our ways to describe us stalling from getting on the news?
I don't know. I mean, we're a minute and 30 seconds in here, and 30 seconds of that was a countdown. You know, the good stuff.
Exactly.
Now, do you want to get into it? I guess I'll get into it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just trying to share it on my personal page real quick because, you know, it's not cooperating because technology. And it's been a long day. I just came, back from a coma.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's pretty bad when the old man got to get it on faster than you did.
Let's calm down. Let's calm down.
All right, fine. But ladies and gentlemen, of course. All right, fine. I'll do the official intro. How's that sound? You're talking about songs over there. I'll go official. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's the Game Changer Sports Network, and we are here to talk about the big NFL trade, and that is, of course, Carson Wentz getting traded from the Eagles over to the
you almost had it.
Indianapolis really kind of you trip over that city. The Indianapolis Colts have now acquired Carson Wentz via a trade from the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, what do you think about this trade? Was this worth it? Is this one of those one times that we say this is a win-win as far as both teams go?
No.
Now, who gets hurt in this?
There's pieces on each side that look good, and there's pieces on each side of the trade that look bad.
Right.
The Colts taking on a $30 million contract. I mean, yeah, they have the money, so I guess okay. But it's still $30 million to a guy that might be fucking broken.
A guy that just had his worst year in the NFL.
Statistically, yes. There was also the behind the scenes of him and the coach not getting along. And when the coach got fired, we all thought, all right, Carson's there to stay. Well,
right.
Fast forward a month, Carson's not there to stay.
Right.
However, the big thing is that Philly is eating the money, and they didn't get the first-round pick that they wanted in return. Now, when you see a media report, any report comes out, you always have to ask yourself, who's releasing this information, and why are they doing it?
Right.
And about the day before the Super Bowl, it was released that the Colts were going to get a Matthew Stafford-like deal for Carson Wentz. And Matthew Stafford went for 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, and a third-round pick or something like that.
Right, something crazy.
Matthew Stafford is significantly better than Carson Wentz. And if the Eagles thought that they were going to get that trade package for him, they were out of their fucking minds.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now you have to think, okay, the Eagles released that information. They were fucking wrong. And every other team waited them out like, you didn't get 2 first-round picks for him.
No. I mean, if Carson doesn't play 70% of this next season, they don't get a first-round pick, period, at the end.
So the exact conditional pick is 75% or 70% with a playoff berth.
Right. And it's the
NFL.
NFL.
A second-round pick will become a first-round pick.
Right. It's the NFL. Injuries can happen. Anything can happen, really, when it comes down to it.
He can be benched.
He could be benched. That's very possible. I mean, you put him, especially after the year he had. I mean, I've got all this. I've got some stats pulled up. 3-8-1, a 57.4 completion rating, 16 touchdowns, which ties his rookie year where he only had 16 touchdowns for lowest. 15 interceptions, which is his highest. Lowest on yards, his lowest QB rating, and his highest amount of sacks, all in one season.
15 interceptions, also led the NFL this year.
I believe it was tied for leading, yes.
Was there a second guy up there?
Yes, another. I think it was another team's second. Their backup quarterback, their second string quarterback, also got 15.
Well, in order for him to have 15, he would have had to start all season. Interceptions.
We got real backwoods RB Dubs. Eagles get rid of Carson, who they owe a lot of money, and they're going to have to use their pick for another QB because Jalen won't be their franchise.
So, okay.
Here comes Jake.
Hold on. And who was that brought up that comment? It was
real backwoods.
All right, real backwoods.
RB
I don't know if you're an Eagles fan, but I'm about to break your heart because the Eagles still are on the hook for that $30 million in dead cap money.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely dead cap. $33.8 million in dead money, which is money that they gave Wentz when he still had 2 years available on his rookie contract. I mean, this seems like a bad signing, a bad trade, and it does not seem like they're getting a whole lot out of this, especially for what they gave up to get Wentz.
Oh, now that I finally got it. It was Tom Brady and Drew Lock both had 15 as well.
Okay.
And neither one of them is a backup quarterback.
Oh, all right. No. Apparently my sources were wrong.
They still owe him a lot. It's awful for the Eagles. Okay, so like I said at the beginning of my little snafu, we'll call it a snafu, fun word. Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz didn't see eye to eye. Jalen Hurts came in, really, in all honesty, lit the world on fire in Philadelphia, almost gave them a playoff berth. Then God knows what happened. Nate Sudfeld came in and just the ultimate disgrace of a football game I've ever seen on Sunday Night Football. I've ranted about that already once this season. I don't need to do it again. We're going to move on. Nate Sudfeld comes in. Hurts gets benched. Not Lock. I'm looking at the comment right now. Wentz gets benched. You knew the writing was on the wall for either Wentz or Peterson. Peterson gets shit canned. Wentz goes to Indy. So they're doing a full-fledged rebuild now.
Right.
And who did they end up hiring as head coach?
I did not get.
I'm looking it up right now.
All right. Well, I mean, I've got stats pulled up on random other things.
Nick Sirianni. They hired a nobody named Nick Sirianni. Hello, Austin. How are you?
How we do? Oh, boys. Austin, you want to get in on this too?
No. Now, you said you had some stats pulled up?
I do. So a great thing that RB Dubs, Real Backwoods brought up was that the Eagles might have to draft a quarterback if they don't believe in Jalen. That being said, the Eagles do have the number 6 overall pick this year.
Yep.
So if they wanted to draft a quarterback, they definitely have the draft power to do so. The question is, will they?
How fucking crazy is it that they literally were in the playoff hunt until the second to last week of the season and have the 6th overall pick? And if you don't know football, by the way, I'm going to explain this real quick. The worst team in the league gets the number 1 overall pick, barring any trades. So that means the second worst team gets the 2nd overall pick and so on and so forth. So by record, the Eagles were the fucking 6th worst team in the league. And in week 16, they still had an opportunity to make the fucking playoffs. That's how bad the NFC East was.
NFC East. That's the NFC East, though. They're horrific.
Austin would like to point out that he called Wentz to the Colts months ago. I believe I was on that train too. I could be wrong. I think I had Wentz in New England, maybe Chicago, maybe. No, I had Jimmy going to New England.
So, I mean, does that count?
I don't know. I don't remember who I put where. I know Jimmy was in New England, but now I believe Mitch Trubisky's going to end up in New England, and that's a whole different conversation for a whole other day. This is about Carson Wentz and breaking down the Carson Wentz trade. Now, you said he got sacked the most times this season in his career, yes?
Yeah, 50 sacks.
The Eagles' offensive line was atrocious this year, and he's going to one of the best offensive lines in the league, so that's not going to be an issue next year.
So is that going to help? I mean, he's going to a head coach that was the offensive coordinator during his Pro Bowl season.
His MVP almost season.
Right. The wide receiver coach for the Colts was his offensive coordinator for 2 seasons. And now the Colts senior offensive assistant was a QB assistant and head coach for Wentz the whole time he's been in the league. He's going to familiar grounds as far as the personnel. So and now we've got an O-line that's going to support him. Is that going to see a raise in his number after he had his worst season yet?
I think he'll throw less interceptions, but I still think it's broken. Once you get in a quarterback's head, it's very hard for that quarterback to come out of that, i.e. David Carr. Not Derek, guys. Not Derek. David. The older brother that's no longer in the league.
Yeah.
A quarterback's psyche is everything in this league. We got a few comments to catch up on.
We got quite a few comments. NFC least.
NFC least. Yep, we all know it's. Yeah. You know, people like to shit on the AFC East for being so bad for so many years, but in reality, they weren't that bad, and I've proven that statistically, they were never as bad as the NFC East this year. Real Backwards likes my energy. You're damn fucking right you do. I'm a fucking monster on camera.
He's crazy.
Thank you very much.
I'm only here to try to give like the sensible side of things. And even then, he'll drag me down. He'll drag me down if he has to.
Absolutely. Bad mechanics, bad offensive line, poor play calling, lack of confidence, lack of team embracing what he does well. That explains Carson Wentz in a nutshell in Philadelphia. Now, if we move on to him being an Indy, the only upside and it's the most sensible place in the league for him to go. And that's simply because he's reuniting with Frank Reich, the head coach.
Yeah.
So if anybody in the league can fix him, it was going to be Frank Reich or maybe Bill Belichick. Right. But I sure as hell didn't want him in New England. No. I will take Mitch Trubisky before I take Carson Wentz.
Wow.
Austin with a 10-6 to 11-5 for Indy next year. Oof.
Wow.
Oof.
I mean, is all they need is for someone to get the ball out from the backfield to, does Indy really need a ton of help offensively to be able to win games?
Well, they're losing T.Y. Hilton into free agency. Yep. So depending on if he resigns or not, we're going to say Michael Pittman's ready to be a number one. That's another conversation for another day. But with Carson Wentz as the quarterback, I don't think Pittman can be a number one. So now you need a true number one. And they do have money, which Scott Ballard has proven he doesn't like spending money in free agency. So are they going to go after somebody like Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin, or what other one? Juju Smith-Schuster? Maybe, probably not. Given they're pulling a very Green Bay-like situation here, where they're drafting everybody and then trading a first-round pick for somebody like DeForest Buckner. Real Backwards says him having to go back to Philly after Nick Foles won the Super Bowl and seeing the statue tore up his mental. Guaranteed. Absolutely. I wouldn't want to go, if you were to build a statue of Jay outside of my house right now, you think I want to walk by that every day? First off, no, he's ugly as fuck.
That's why we need Martin. Martin, you're leaving us, man. You're leaving a big hole right here, man.
right here, right in the hole.
Yeah,
right in the hole. Just in the hole.
But you're definitely widening it as we speak.
Yeah.
Look, if I had a statue of you outside my house, I'd probably just sell it though. Probably for like a second and a couple of picks.
I was going to say a bag of Doritos, but, it's all the same.
Look, I'm trying to bring this back to football, brother.
So back to real backwoods. I think even Philip being older in his final year last year was better than they'll get out of Absolutely. I actually thought Indy with Philip Rivers could have made a real Super Bowl run. Mm-hmm. But Philip Rivers being Philip Rivers in the playoffs, man. He couldn't get past himself his entire career. And it happened again in Indy with a better team than he ever had in San Diego and or Los Angeles.
Right.
Martin says, don't worry, we'll have him back again on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Of course we will, Martin. We love you.
We'll have you back. Martin, we'll have you back, but...
No, you won't be here Tuesday.
Nope. Not until the week after. Then I'll be available.
Hate you sometimes. No. Statistically speaking, Frank Reich, as we know by now in this conversation, 16 minutes in, had the MVP season for Carson. So if he can even pull let's go with half of what he could out of Carson in that MVP-like season, then there's a good chance Indy at least goes above 500. And in year one of Carson Wentz, going above 500 is fine.
Yeah, I would say so.
They are absolutely rebuilding his mental state this year.
Right.
Now, if for some reason Carson Wentz doesn't work out, we know Philip Rivers was a Frank Reich guy. Yep. We know Carson Wentz is a Frank Reich guy. Could Frank Reich end up on the hot seat if Carson Wentz doesn't work out?
I don't know. Is that too early to tell?
I don't know. Philip Rivers, okay. There's two trains of thought. He got in his own way. You brought that up. But I was about to say, they made the playoffs with Philip still.
Right.
And Philip was only in Indy for 1 year. So There's only a small sample size of Philip Rivers in Indianapolis. They made the playoffs. They lost in the first round. Now, Carson Wentz comes in. Everybody knows, broken. We don't know if he can even handle being a quarterback in the NFL in 2021.
Right.
So they're going to have to fix it. The question is, are they going to get the leeway this year, which I believe they probably will get the leeway of, let's say things go south quick. Let's say they start out 1-5.
Yeah.
You're benching Carson right there, and that screws his mental state, and you're back to square one.
Yep.
But if they start out, 3-3, 4-4, now we're a little more reasonable. But if right out of the gate, go ahead.
I would say if they can stay just about even, I think Frank would definitely keep his job. I think there's no reason to really jump the gun, especially when you're fixing a broken quarterback. But if they start very slow, fans want results. And if Carson gets benched, you might as well have gotten nothing out of it.
Well, the Eagles did get nothing out of it. Well, they got fleeced in the actual trade itself. He is still a quarterback in the NFL, and you only could get a third and a conditional second round. Oh.
Yeah. Especially for what they traded to draft him.
Oh, yeah. By all means, take it away.
So, the Eagles traded their 2016 13th overall pick, Byron Maxwell and Kiko Alonso, to the Dolphins for the 8th overall pick. They then took that 8th overall pick to go to the Browns, traded that 8th overall pick, the 77th overall pick, and the 100th overall pick of 2016, as well as a first round in 2017 and a second round in 2018 to the Browns to get the 2nd overall pick to pick up Wentz. That is a king's ransom.
You said that was 2016?
Yes.
Give me 1 second.
You're going to pull up all the people they could have gotten, huh?
No, I was pulling up who went before him. It was Jared Goff. Jesus Christ. What a fucking bust of 2 picks.
Right?
They both got I don't think any quarterback from this draft class is on the original team that drafted them anymore.
I wouldn't be surprised.
QB. Christian Hackenberg. Christian
CFL?
Hackenberg. He was playing in the what was that? AAF. That was on TV for like 2 weeks.
Oh, all right. Well,
Jacoby Brissett, drafted by New England. Cody Kessler, drafted by Cleveland. Connor Cook in Oakland. Hey, he started a playoff game. It was a horrible playoff game, but this is a horrible quarterback draft.
Yeah, that not a whole lot there.
Dak Prescott, the only one left on his original team.
Oh.
And that might change this offseason too.
Yep, that's very true.
Austin says Frank Wright will stay. Not his fault Ballard gave him the ghost of Phillip Rivers and a broken Carson Wentz. The problem is Chris Ballard himself said that Phillip Rivers was Frank Reich's choice over Tom Brady, who they were going to go after.
Wow.
It's funny, Wentz and Goff were drafted one pick after pick ahead of each other, and in the same year they get traded.
Yeah. The NFL
year, so 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This is going to be going on year 4, 5?
Wentz has played 5 seasons.
Okay, so they're both okay.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Okay.
So
my theory goes out the window. Right. So no matter what, the Eagles had to trade Wentz before the 3rd day of the new league year, which would be the 20th of March, because he's due a $10 million roster bonus on that day. So that roster bonus is now null and void, and he actually doesn't get that with Indianapolis.
Gotcha.
So
he loses some money.
Yeah, that's how a trade usually works. However, there's no cap space issues. Cap-wise, in a trade, it doesn't translate over.
Right.
So the $38 million is just full on the Eagles, unless it's agreed upon in the trade, which we haven't heard about. What'd you say?
33.8.
33.8. My bad.
It's all right.
All right. Any final thoughts on this?
I don't see a winner. I don't see a winner. If Wentz is broken and the Eagles gave away so much to get him and didn't get much for him, I don't see a winner in this.
The winner is Jalen Hurts as long as they don't draft a quarterback.
Basically, that's what it comes down to.
There's your winner of this trade.
Yeah.
He has no business starting right now, but he's going to anyway.
And unless they draft someone, and then we'll have a QB battle.
Even if they draft somebody, at 6, you're looking at 2 or 3 quarterbacks already off the board. Zach Wilson will be gone. Trevor Lawrence will be gone. Atlanta could potentially take somebody. So you're looking at 3 right there. They're sitting at 6. They could get the 4th quarterback off the board.
We also see that the Eagles are willing to trade up, as we saw with them getting Wentz.
I don't think they're going to be dumb enough to pull that again.
I hope
Especially if they have 6 and they want to move to, let's say, 2, because realistically the Jets are the most likely candidate to trade back. Are they really going to want to pay that King's ransom again?
I wouldn't. I don't think
Especially when you know Zach Wilson. The problem with this draft is Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson are unanimously number 1, 2, and they're unanimously going to be studs in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, they'd have to trade up, and they'd have to trade up hard.
I don't think they should. I think they should stick with Hurts. They literally made this bed, lay in it, deal with it for a season, see what happens.
I mean,
and see what your new coach, what's his name again, Nick Sirianni does.
Yeah, I mean, on the bright side, it's not like even if they go completely defeated, it's not like it's really bad for the NFC East. They'll still probably be within 4 games of the leader.
Potentially, probably. Probably. No, I think Washington's probably going to have a good year this year. All right. That's all I got on the Carson Wentz trade.
Thank you for joining us here on the Game Changer Sports Network. We'll see you next time.